episode 4 of The House of Hell, which is actually my 5th attempt to try to beat it now. So let's just rush through this intro bit. Skill of 11. Stamina of 17. Luck of 12. Oh, 12 is actually the highest I think I've had so far. Fear of 12, oh that's good. Okay, so let's okay, so this time what I was thinking I could do something a little differently when I creep around the side. After looking at the window, I was thinking that I could knock on the window to see whether they'll let me in. Just thought, why not? Why not give it a try? What's this? You hear the older man ask. Someone knocking at the door at this time of night. Could it be one of the brethren? I thought everyone was here. Then the two men start whispering to each other in voices too low for you to hear. You wait patiently outside in the rain until eventually the door opens, and a voice asks, "Who is it?" Will you tell them about your predicament, or will you claim to be one of the brethren? Yeah. The door opens wide and you're invited in. We thought everyone was here already, says the older man. That's cutting it a bit fine, the others are. He pauses when he sees your face, and the two men look at each other. What delayed you? You're feeling a bit uneasy about the situation, and mumble some excuse about your car breaking down. Your car, says the man slowly. What a shame. I hope it's not too bad. From their reactions, you get the distinct impression that you have said the wrong thing. Then it dawns on you that there are no other cars around the house, although, according to these two, everyone has arrived. You try desperately to think of what to say next, and do not notice that a younger man has crept around behind you. You feel a heavy blow on the back of your head, which knocks you unconscious, and you lose 4 stamina points. Okay, didn't go that well. You open your eyes, your head is spinning, and it is some time More down here in a pattern. You ask him whether the two of you should leave together, but he shakes his head. I cannot leave here without seeking my revenge, or dying in the attempt. I must leave you now. He checks the passageway and then nips out. Or you first check the table and the boxes. I'm going to check. Table and the boxes. The table is quite ordinary. You feel around underneath it, but can find nothing exceptional here. The packing crate on the left feels light. You tip it up to have a look underneath and find nothing. But the crate on the right is heavy. You kick it with your foot and it does not move. Do you want to see what's hidden inside, or do you want to leave it alone and walk back out into the hallway? I want to see what is inside. You bend down and grasp the crate by its corners. With a heave, you lift it into the air. The sight at your feet horrifies you, and you gain 2 fear points for the fright. Out of the upturned box drops the limp body of a lifeless animal. The creature is perhaps a well-shorn sheep, or more likely a goat, but is difficult to identify as it has been decapitated. You turn away, fighting down a feeling of nausea, and make for the door. The hallway outside is clear. You decide against turning right and follow the passageway, which is a dead end. You may enter the Ebler's room to your immediate left, or you may continue back towards the landing and follow that. I mean, we could keep exploring, or we could just try to find this room downstairs. So I think we should try to go back downstairs. You follow the landing round, past a wooden door which bears the name to Dear Phyllis. You may try this door by turning to 155. Straight ahead, the landing ends at a panelled wall, and the passageway turns to the left. Yeah, let's just keep following. You follow the passageway round the corner to the left. 2 doors face each other across the passage. You may either try the door on the left, to the Belial room, or the door on the right, to the Abaddon room. Straight ahead, the passageway continues for a few metres before ending in an unmarked door. So I think I should try the Abaddon room again, just in case. Fair 8 out of 12. I'm just wondering, once I see that she's dead, what do I do then? Obviously, if I don't overcome to the fear. Let's do it anyway. You step over to the bed and shake the old woman gently, but as soon as you touch her with its skin, you jump back in horror. She is stone cold dead. You gain 2 fear points from the shock. As you stand by the bed, shivering, a low moan comes from the body. Its eyelids flick open and pure white eyes stare up at the ceiling. She has no pupils. Do you want to wait to see what happens next? Or will you be tasty, retreat and return to the passageway? Let's see what happens next. You hear words coming from the old woman, yet her lips do not move. Stranger, how dare you invade the private bedchamber of the woman of the house? She asks. You stammer an apologetic reply. She orders you, begone intruder, leave an old woman to die in peace. Well, I've annoyed her now, so I might as well just be like, yeah, but okay, before I go. What business of yours is this house, she screams. If you will not go of your own accord, then my hounds will see you off, and if they cannot, I will do so myself. With these words, a wooden panel slides open in the wall. 2 huge Great Danes spring out and attack. Okay, fight. Okay, their skill is, my skill's better and my stamina's better, so in theory, I should win this. Because, yeah, I've got a knife, so... Do an axe, fight on. You have defeated the first Great Dane, now you must face the second Great Dane. 6 and 6, okay. You both miss, okay. 2 more, come on. Yes, you are triumphant. If you defeat the dogs, you may leave the room, or if you defeat the dogs, you may remain to search it. Well, is she not going to be like, I told you, if you do not leave, I will do it myself, so will she not be like, fine, I'm going to do it. You search the room while the old woman threatens you from her bed. I'm just imagining how hilarious that would be. Should I get out? I'm just, look, I'm being nosy, okay? I know that what I want is not here, but let me nose. You recognise some of the plants. The woman's voice grows frantic as you poke around in the herb garden by the window. A thought dawns on you and you turn to her, threatening to destroy her plants, places. Alright then, I will answer your question. About secret rooms in the house. Secret room, she laughs. Why, this house is riddled with secret passageways and secret rooms. Most are in the cellar though, but some of the upstairs passages lead to them. The most cunning secret room is the master's most trusted hiding place. It can only be reached by one way, and that is from under the stairs in the cellar. A password isn't needed, and I knew the old one, but it's recently been changed. Shaku will know the new password. The woman's eyes close, as if the conversation has been a great strain. You leave her be, and consider the information you've been given. Shaku, okay. Do I need to write that down? No, probably not. Shaku knows the password. No, okay. Having explored most of the rooms upstairs, you decide to risk searching the ground floor. You follow the landing back round to the staircase and creep downstairs. You walk down the stairs cautiously, looking in every direction. There is no one about. In the hallway below, you may choose to try the door on the left, or you may choose the door on the right. Alternatively, you can walk up to the front door and open it. Well, I know the front door would shock me, but let's... Okay, left. I can't remember we went left. The door opens in a large but cosy drawing room. The dying embers of a warm fire burn in the hearth. Comfortable chairs are arranged around the fireplace. 2 glasses and a decanter stand on a glass-top table between 2 chairs. There are plants and tool stands on either side of the windows, and there is another door next to the one you came in. Do you wish to explore the room further? Would you like to leave through the other door? Alternatively, you can have a little tipple from the decanter. No, I'm alright, actually. Yeah, why not while we're here? Will you start by looking through the ornaments on a corner shelf, or will you examine the fire in the mantelpiece? Let's look through the ornaments. There are several delicate items of pottery and a few silver pieces on the shelf. One of the silver ornaments is a short dagger, which you take. It's rather too short to really be a useful weapon, but nevertheless you may add 2 skill points if you use it in a fight. There is also a silver hip flask. If you have already not done so, you take this flask and fill it with brandy. Let's examine the fireplace. A fine carriage clock sits in the centre of an elaborately carved wooden mantelpiece. A number of letters are jammed in behind the clock, and you reach for them. As you do so, your sleeve catches one of the carved images in the woodwork and it moves. You lean forward to examine it. It is a small carved demonic face which can be moved sideways. Do you see? Yes, I would like to see what lies behind the wooden face. The little carving moves to reveal a button set in the mantelpiece behind it. You consider whether or not to press the button. As you are deep in thought, you do not notice what is happening to the fire. In the grate, the fire has come back to life. Strong flames are licking the chimney, and considerable heat is being given off. You feel the heat and step backwards. As you do so, 2 small figures leap from the fire and face you. These fire sprites are small. They come up to your knees, but their flame bodies burn with the figure of the fire from which they arose. They hover in the air just above the carpet, for if they touch anything, it bursts into flame. Let's try a different approach. Can I just pour the brandy on them? Oh, you hold off, these are fancy creatures. Yeah, let's just pour the brandy on them. You grab the decanter and splash brandy quickly over the 2 creatures, hoping to douse their flames. But you're to dismay, the brandy burns fizzily, of course, because it's bloody alcohol. In fact, it seems to nourish the fire spirits rather than weaken them. I am an idiot. You decide to battle with the fire sprites. Each time they wound you, you risk the added danger of their flames touching you. You will lose 3 stamina points instead of the normal 2. Or you may test your luck after each wound. A lucky roll means you manage to put out the flame before it burns you. An unlucky roll means you lose 4 instead of 3. Oh no. Okay, my skill is higher and their stamina isn't that bad. So hopefully I can attack them without okay, the first one. I can attack them without being hurt. Excellent. If you fight them and win, you step back up to the fireplace and examine the secret button again. Will you press it? I mean, I know that what I'm looking for is... like the stairs are in the cellar, but... You press the button and hear a small click. Then you hear another sound and you swing round to face the corner shelf. disturbers. You've been lured into a trap. You are standing on a trap door which opens beneath you, and you fall downwards. Down you fall for several meters until you finally land in a heap of something soft. Add 1 fear point for the fright. Now test your luck. You are lucky. Okay. You are unhurt. You pick yourself up and verify there is no serious damage. You've landed on a mound of earth and hay. You realise that you are in a cellar underneath the house. The room is fairly small with 1 door. Outside you can hear a shuffling noise coming closer. Will you spring behind the door to surprise who is approaching, or will you quickly search the room for a weapon in case you need to defend yourself? Let's hide behind the door. The door slowly opens and you hold yourself close to the wall. The man who enters is short and stocky and appears to be bent double. He is not armed. He peers into the room and scratches his head. Evidently he has heard something and is perplexed at finding nothing in the room. Will you step forward and announce yourself, or will you keep hidden and hope he leaves? Well, everyone's wearing robes, so I wish I had a robe. I'll stay hidden for now. The little man stares once more into the room, shrugs his shoulders and leaves. Closing the door behind him, you are alone again. After waiting a few minutes, you decide to leave the room. Outside the room, the passageway runs outwards, past the door on the left. If you wish to continue along the passageway, if you wish to explore the area. Exploring the area, you find nothing particularly unusual. You see a wooden door on the left of the passageway, which you may try, or you can walk a little further up and try another door on the right-hand wall, if you prefer to ignore the doors and continue. So let's try the left. You can hear gruff noises coming from within the room. Whoever or whatever is in there certainly doesn't sound too friendly. Let's not do that one then. Oh, this room seems to be a dungeon of some sort. For a long one wall of 4 cells with heavy iron bars locking the occupants in. No one seems to be on your side of the bars, so you walk in to have a look. A twig cracks as you step forward, and immediately 3 bodies spring to life in 3 of the cells. They're a ragged lot, clothes in tatters, hair dishevelled and grubby. They all reach forward through the bars and plead with you to release them. Each one has been captured by the Earl of Room or servants and imprisoned to await some horrendous fate. Nearest to you is a pretty young girl. Her face and fair hair are dirty and she is in tears. She desperately wants to be released. In the second cell is a tall man with strong features. He has accepted that he is about to die and bravely asks you to kill him now to deprive the evil Earl of his pleasure. In the third cell is a balding man in a grey gown who says nothing. Do you wish to try to help these prisoners? You may talk to one of them if you wish. So I realised that the young girl was probably the district nurse, who only came in like yesterday, so she probably doesn't know anything. And the tall man is just like, he's clearly not in a very good state to be helpful. So let's try to talk to the balding man. You step up to the balding man's cell. Do not waste your time in here, he says, for you cannot help us. Our only hope is that you can destroy the evil in this house before it destroys us. But that is unlikely because you would have to destroy the master first. He may only be killed with the crysknife, and the battle may only take place in a red room, to symbolise a battle taking place in hell itself. The dining room upstairs has red walls, but is always locked, and the key is hidden behind the mirror when ceremonies are taking place. If you can find the crysknife and the key, then you may save the world from the devilry that is brewing within these walls. But as for us, we will all be dead before the night is through. Don't waste your time with us. You listen to his advice and consider whether you ought to leave immediately as he suggests, or perhaps you should talk to the others. I'm just gonna keep moving. Further up the passage is another door in the right-hand wall. Let's try the door. The door opens wide. You're about to step inside but hesitate when you see what lies within. You are entering an underground torture room. In one corner stands a formidable Iron Maiden, its deadly door standing ajar. A stretching rack is in the centre of the room. Hanging from the ceiling along the left-hand wall are 2 cages. One is just about large enough for a man to crouch in, and the other will allow a man to stand up but not to move about. A shiver runs down your spine. Suddenly 2 pairs of hands grab your wrists and you are shoved forward into the room. From behind the door steps a broad-shouldered man with powerful arms. So, he exclaims, time and you think too long about the answer, Dirk will tighten the rack. Got that? Alright, let's start. Each time the torturer's assistant gives you a letter, you'll be able to type the first word you can think of which begins with the letter and relates to the house. After your test is complete, the torturer will consider your answers and then decide whether or not to believe your story. Oh no, I should have made more notes. Let me get my keyboard. First letter. D. Oh, diabolus. Diabolus. When you're done. Next letter, Orville shouts the torturer. Orville thinks and says A. Okay, Paddon. Come, Orville, let's have another. Orville thinks again and this time says K. Oh, I know. Cownall. Orville's now getting the hang of this game and is enjoying himself. M is the next letter. Okay, Morgana. Orville's been practicing his next letter and bursts out excitedly. S is his choice. Oh, I've forgotten how to spell it. It's the Shidon. Is that how you spell it? Oh, I should have written this stuff down. Alright, Orville, that will do for now, says the torturer. He turns to you. Have you been convincing enough for him? Over the next 5 references, some of the answers that he would have been expecting are listed. Each one scores a number of points. If you choose one of the words listed, you will get the listed number of points. When you've been through all 5 references, you will have convinced the torturer if your score is high enough. Okay, if you remember it in the following words. You correctly guessed diabolus, you get 3 points. I really hope he's keeping track of this. 3. Says or pattern. Cool, so I got a pattern, so that's 5 points. Cownall, that's 5 points. Morgana, so that's 5 points. You've got no points for any of them. Lastly, Shidon. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Okay. How many points did you get in total? I got 18. Cool. My humble apologies, stammers the torturer. I did not realise you were one of the Master's brethren. Can I make amends? Can I help direct you onwards? If he refuses help, you may just leave the room. If you want to ask the torturer how to get back upstairs, he will give you directions. If you follow them, you will end up back on the ground floor. Well, I don't want to end back up on the ground floor. So, but I could. It would be nice to have been like, can I have a rope? Also, I've got a healing item. Oh, my stamina's practically 15. If it wasn't for the luck, I'd be doing quite well. So I'm just going to leave the room. You leave the torture room and now continue along the passageway. The passageway widens into a small chamber. Although it is dark, you can see a staircase going up a few meters ahead of you. To your right, the chamber opens into a wide area. You step forwards, and almost immediately a twittering noise puts you on your guard. Suddenly, you feel something land on your head and dig sharp claws into your scalp. You gasp and swat it away. Your hand touches a small, leathery body, and a pair of wings starts to flap as it rises from your head. Bats! A number of them are flapping around your head, darting and scratching with their claws. You gain more fear point from the shock. Do you wish to run upstairs, to hide under the stairs, to fight the bats? I like bats, but I suppose they're attacking me, but I'm going to hide under the stairs. You shelter under the stairs and fend off the bats with your hands. They soon discover that they cannot get at you while you're tucked away, and they flap off back to the corner from which they came. When all is quiet again, you may decide your next move. Will you head up the stairs and open the door? Perhaps you want to remain to explore the bat's chamber. Or do you have some knowledge that would be useful right now that was given to you by an old woman? I do. search around the corner but can find nothing unusual. You can hear some bats squeaking but can find nothing, and the overwhelming smell of their droppings forces you to cut short your search. You must decide what you want to do next. Look along the back wall. Okay. You feel along the wall for any sign of a secret entrance, but find nothing. Just as you're beginning to think you're wasting your time, your left hand dislodges a brick. Behind the brick is a lever. You pull the lever and a rumbling noise comes from the wall nearby. A section of wall slides to one side, revealing a small entrance just large enough for you to climb through. You look inside, but it is pitch black. Yeah, let's do it. You find yourself in a dark tunnel. It is quite short and ends at a door. You open the door slowly, and when you see that there is no one inside, you step into the room. It seems to be some sort of ceremonial ante-room or dressing room. Hanging from hooks around the walls are 30 to 40 white gowns, and resting on the shelves underneath the gowns are macabre masks made from goats' heads. A single passageway leads off to the left. While you're wondering where to go next, a sound sends a chill down your spine. Someone is coming. A hubbub of voices grows louder as a group of people come towards the room. You look quickly around for somewhere to hide and decide to nip behind the door. Suddenly the door opens and about 40 people come into the room, all chattering excitedly. You mingle with them and emerge unnoticed into the crowd. They are ripping a man called Brother Isaacson. It seems that tonight is a very significant night for him. You could be what they are doing, laughing and smiling and even getting dressed up in a gown and mask. Eventually, when they are dressed, they all move off along the other passageway. Or you go with them, or you hang around the back, hoping to stay behind unnoticed in the room. Now I'm in a robe and mask, I might as well try to, Temple of Doom, find your way into a sacrificial ceremony. The passageway leads into a large chamber with rocky walls. Mystical symbols are painted on the walls, and 4 goats' heads, mounted on spikes, mark out the central area. In the centre of this area is an altar draped with a black cloth, and a hooded figure stands by the altar. This figure wears a gown like the others, but his goat's head is dyed purple. You presume he must be their leader. You follow the congregation, you surround the altar, and stand at the back. A few minutes later, another sound comes from the passage. This time you hear the screams of a young woman. 2 of the masked characters emerge from the passageway, pulling a pretty fair-haired girl who is fighting furiously to break free and screaming at the top of her voice. She is dragged to the altar and tied down on it. The congregation, led by their leader, chant for a short time. Then the leader motions for Brother Isaacson to step forward. The 2 exchange masks, and Brother Isaacson steps up to the altar, drawing a sharp dagger from his gown. He raises it above the woman. Excited mutterings run through the crowd, but what will you do? Will you watch what will happen? Will you find a way out? Alternatively, you can try to rescue the wrong woman. So, I feel like I can try to rescue the young woman, but I'm not going to be successful, and they're going to capture me and kill me, and then they're just going to continue to catch and sacrifice people. Or I could let this woman be killed and have a chance at destroying the master and ending all of this. Kind of the whole, the lives of the many outweigh the lives of the few thing. So, I'm sorry, young nurse. The pitch increases as the onlookers join hands and circle the altar. The priest raises his knife into the air and lets out a frenzied scream as he brings it down. You force yourself to look away, and suddenly, you notice another passageway leading off from the room. You look back at the gathering. They are all busy with the sacrifice, smearing the unfortunate victim's blood over themselves. You seize your opportunity and run for the passage. You are lucky. Excellent. You tiptoe quietly along the wall towards the other passageway, keeping your eyes on the ceremony to make sure you are not noticed. You edge along until you reach the passage and nip smartly along it. You've escaped. At the end of the passage is a door which is unlocked. You open it. The door opens into a small room which is pitch black. There seems to be no exit from the room, but you feel around the walls. Eventually your hand touches a small button in one corner and you press this. A panel in front of you slides aside and lets you out into a passageway. There are 2 doors opposite each other, one on the left and one on the right. There is no other way through. Let's try the door on the left. The door is not locked, but the shufflings and yelpings that you can hear inside suggest that you ought to proceed with caution. Will you decide against entering and examine the passageway you are in, or will you fling the door open wide and stride boldly in? The smell from within the room catches you off balance and stops you dead in your tracks. Honestly, I hate like harming animals in games. I'd much rather just stab a human than stab these bulldogs. Like, if they're bad dogs, it's because they've been brought up that way and trained that way. Like, if you defeat the dog, turn to 94. The other two Great Danes snarl and advance towards you. If you wish to fight them, or if you wish to escape, I believe I can kill them, but if I can help it, I don't want to hurt them. You are lucky. Okay. You manage to scramble to the door and slam it shut before the dogs can spring on you. Now out in the passageway, you must look for another way to leave the area. Cool, so at least two of them are still alive. There seems to be no other way out of the passage. Even the panel through which you entered has now closed up. A bell push is set in the wall, and hoping that you'll reveal some way out, you push it.